Hello there. Today, I'm not going to tell you anything. As per usual, please like, subscribe and comment below. And when subscribing, please do press that little bell, but also select the all option, or you won't get any notifications when I publish a new video. Now, before I get into not telling you anything, I just want to say that this Thursday is Remembrance Day, followed then by Remembrance Sunday, when we are all given the opportunity to collectively remember the ultimate sacrifice given by so many in order that we can live in peace and prosperity today. And part of that remembering is the wearing of the poppy. And when you pay a few pence to get an official red poppy, the money you give goes to the Royal British Legion. But there are many different poppies now on sale out there, and not all of them are official. So why buy a poppy from eBay, for example, when you don't know who's selling it or where your money's going? As far as I can see, unofficial poppies are either just money-making scams or worse, political campaigns built on war graves. Yes, that's right, scams or political scams hiding behind the deaths of those that gave their all for us. So please buy an official red poppy, or an official silver-plated Captain Sir Tom poppy perhaps, from an official poppy seller. And if you are tempted to buy another colour, ask the seller to provide proof that the money is going to help those who have defended our nation. Otherwise, it's probably going into someone's back pocket or being spent on political campaigning. Please don't let these people trample on our war graves just so they can further their own agendas. The poppy is about remembering and a worthy cause, not scamming and or pushing a political campaign. And the red poppy is inclusive and is for everyone. Now to business. There is this chap called Matt Hancock, who before apparently hugging his girlfriend in front of a camera that arguably he should have known was there, that saw him ejected from office, he held an important job in government. And now he's back. And I cannot tell you what Matt Hancock, the hypocrite and double standards ambassador for the government, has said regarding what certain public sector workers should do. Or more specifically, I'm only allowed one view on it, to agree with him. Funny that. It seems that you can have as much freedom of expression as you like, as long as it's officially sanctioned and social media agrees with it. There are certain subjects on which there is only one narrow narrative allowed, and one of them is on the pronouncements that Matt Hancock made, because anything said to the contrary is deemed as unscientific and therefore worthy of shutting you down or even cancelling you. Now some people will harumph and say, only right and proper, can't have false news and info running riot, can we? But by shutting everything down so thoroughly to such a narrow avenue, mistakes get hardwired into the system, errors get baked in for all time. Because even if everyone knew it was wrong, no one would ever be able to talk about it and correct it. Especially when so much money and political capital is involved. Money and political capital that would fight the truth tooth and nail all the way. And social media has either been sucked or forced into following this to such a degree that we are no longer even able to discuss the political and or ethical rights and wrongs of following such a stringent path. The human angle, it seems, must be obliterated. And that is just as George Orwell predicted it would pan out. Yes, we even now have our own Winston Smiths working in little ministries of truth around the nation, rewriting our history, starting with statues and buildings and universities. Rewriting to deem what was acceptable history is no longer so. And people who years ago tweeted jokes or made comedy decades ago about how life was back then are now coming under fire, with the main argument coming from the modern censors being that the past as it stands is unacceptable. That's correct. What your forebears did is unacceptable, and you must be held accountable for it. You must continually apologise for something that has nothing to do with you. In a few short years, we've gone from pulling down centuries-old monuments to berating living comedians for works they performed at the end of the last century, to targeting those who tweeted something out 2 or 3 years ago when they were just teenagers. How long before what you innocently put out on Facebook today is deemed a crime tomorrow, and you are to be punished for it? Let's hope those current Winston Smiths soon come to their senses like the original one did. And how long before pointing to official government statements and using official statistics that prove your point are also deemed as unacceptable acts of non-science? Well, I can tell you, we have already moved beyond that. Many pundits have already been slapped down for that one, myself included. Social media has become a vast nudge unit at the behest of governments and corporate interests, with every algorithmic tweak designed to hem you in that little tiny bit more. Now, there are, of course, smaller social media players out there that are still fighting the rearguard free speech action. But should an upstart begin pulling in the viewers, then I would assume an army of regulators would move in to control their output. And how long can they last in the face of ever tighter legislation anyway? Legislation driven by money-hungry corporates that bankroll politicians in their second jobs. And the reach of these smaller platforms is still limited. All eyes are drawn to the big players. And that is where the true battle must be fought, even if it means being seen to play the game. But we can all play the nudge game. And going all gung-ho resulting in self-cancellation is not the way to do it. Now, I'm going to point out something that should be obvious to everyone. The UK is not a bastion of free expression. It never has been, nor will it ever be. Because free expression means anyone can say anything they like to whoever they like, whenever they like. But since the dawn of time, talking against the chief or the witch doctor ended you up in hot water. And talking about a spherical earth would get you killed. And living as a lone old woman in a little cottage just outside the village would see you burned at the stake. And we've also got things like the Official Secrets Act. Oh yes, that's not exactly all for free speech, is it? There are rules that hinder your rights to freedom to gather, etc., etc., etc. The UK is a jurisdiction of controlled expression, controlled speech, with very little debate about how much that expression should be controlled, but with an underlying political and corporate understanding that more control is better for a peaceful community, especially if vested interests have income and power to maintain. We live in a highly controlled environment where a few people tell you what you can say and what you can't say, what you can buy, what you can sell, what you can wear, what you can drive, where you can go and where you can't go, and what you need when you do go, and what all the requirements are for you to do any of those things. And one step out of line can cancel you, cancel your voice and your ability to earn money, unless you toe the line and do exactly what you are told. Does increased civilization really mean the ever more robbing of our freedom of expression? Or is it that only conformists can make a modern peaceful society where independent free thinkers are centres of strife and discord? And when the cashless digital currency that the Bank of England is working on right now is installed, And I ask you, looking around you on that basis, are you freer today than you were just 24 months ago, or not? So what's your view on our tightening regime of controlled expression? Please like and comment below.